Hello, my name is Lisa and I'm an internal support coordinator with WEX FSM, and I want to welcome you today to today's session of Solution Studio. Remember that there is a short survey at the end to tell us how we're doing and if there are any other subjects you would like us to include in our webinars. So we'd appreciate your help. So today we are going over sales reporting, and let me share my screen. Okay, so reporting is under reporting, and when you pop it open, it gives you all these lovely ones. And we've been working through section by section. So we did accounting, we did customers, we've done the jobs, and now we're working on the sales section. So for the sales section, the first one is custom line items. And this is really important for your business because let's see. So if you create a price book, or if you have a QuickBooks item or any combination of the things that are using for your price book, and your tech can't find something in there that they need to bill. So they go in and they create a custom line item on a job form, and it may be something that you never ever want to add to your price book. It's just a one-off, and that's fine. But if you start seeing time after time where they're adding that custom line item to a job form, and you see it in like different phrasing, like run capacitor or capacitor um, with the number. So it just would be the same item. They're just saying it differently. And every time they're adding a custom line item, that invoice won't sync because the system won't let a field worker choose where that income is supposed to go. So when you go to your invoices, it's going to say not ready because it doesn't have an income account. And so you're going to have to touch those every time. So like I said, if it's a one-off, that may be fine, and you may be okay with going in there and fixing it the one time. But if you keep seeing the same things over and over again, it's time to take a look at the custom line item sales report and see what they're putting in there, because if they can't find something, they're going to create something. And so you can take a look at these and see, okay, Daikin install labor. So they may put in Daikin labor or install labor or something like that if they can't find it and you don't have it in there. So if you come in here and look at this report, and I would say do it like maybe monthly, to go ahead and see what you're missing or what they can't find in the price book, and kind of sort anything red in the system. You can click on it and it will sort it alphabetically. So you can come in and see, okay, how many times they put in 25 by 5 is actually from the Profit Rhino. You can tell that it's got the T on there. So you know that you're okay with that because you should have an income account associated with that. But if you came in and you saw something like this, how many times they were in there, you probably need to add it to your price book. Daikin install labor is in there, duct tape's in there. Okay, so you're seeing different items in here that are in here multiple times. You can also sort out to see by technician which one is creating it. So if you have an item in your price book and they just can't find it, you can look by technician and say, hey, we already have this in the price book. You don't have to go in and create a custom line item. This is where it is. And so that way they can know to choose the correct one. And or if you didn't have this in your price book, you could go ahead and add it to your price book and then reach out to everybody who has been creating a custom line item for it and let them know that it's now in the price book so that they can go choose it there. So this is really, really helpful to keep you from having to go to the invoice list. And when they create the custom line item, it's going to say not ready. And let me show you that. So these are all ready. It looks like somebody has gone in. Oh, here's one that's not ready. And so there's no income account for this. Somebody added it as a custom line item and it doesn't have an an income account associated with it. So to correct this, you would have to go in and touch all of these and change the income account. And so then once you do this and save it, it's going to go back to ready and it will sync down to QuickBooks. You want to keep from having to touch these as much as possible so that everything flows quickly and you can use your time in the office to what you really need to be working on, because otherwise you're going through a ton of these that would be not ready. Let's see how much yellow is in our test account. Lots of them. Okay, you're also going to see not ready if it's a zero invoice amount, because that means it doesn't have a line item on it. So maybe if you can't charge for something, you create a product in your price book that says no charge or callback or something where you know that you can add that to the job form and let your team know to add it there with a zero amount due. And then this will sync to QuickBooks, even though it's a zero amount due, and that information will be on your customer in QuickBooks. But this is a lot to go in and check every day to make sure that it's going through. And if you have a lot of people that are doing a lot of invoices, this can take up quite a bit of your time. So we want to make sure that you're working as productively as possible. So that's why we created this report. Okay. The next one is the part sales report. So I think I lost my reporting tab here because I closed it. So we're down here to the part sales report. And the part sales report is basically that. It's going to tell you every part that is added as a single line item or as part as a bundle from your price book onto this so that you can keep track of how many you sold. So if you're trying to keep track of how many fan motors, you could see within a date range how many that were sold and the cost. If on the price book product, the part has the manufacturer, the supplier, and the manufacturer warranty, that will actually be on here as well. This is a test account, so a lot of the items were just kind of thrown into test. So they didn't take the time to go in and put the manufacturer, the supplier, or anything on here. So this one is Daikin Northeast. So you can see that from the supplier, but they didn't bother to put the warranty on there. But here's one with a warranty on there. So the more items you put on your price book products, so more of the, let's say, if I go to more applications, price book, the more information that you put on those products, the more information you can track in the system. So if I go into service and I click details, on the second tab is where most of that information is. So it'll have your QuickBooks name, class, the warranty if you add it there, the manufacturer brand, and model number. So all of these and the manufacturer warranty will show up on that report if you populate your price book products with them. If not, you're going to have lots of blanks on this. But if you're just looking for the number of quantities sold, it can be very helpful so that you can know what to keep in stock. Okay. The next one is product sales. So in our price book, you can build a part or you can build a product that contains parts. So the product might be a flat rate with a part and a labor. So you can track this on here, and always remember that when you see this little I in our system, that means there's something going on that you need to know. So this says includes all price book, flat rate, QuickBooks, and custom line items have been added to an invoice. So anything that is added to an invoice except a negative ones with a negative cost. Okay. So you can check to see all of those on there. And if it doesn't have a cost associated with it, it's going to have an NA next to it. And the total invoice column reflects the price that is on the invoice. Okay, so if you gave them a discount or anything else like that, that's going to be the final price. So you can search by where the product came from, the product name, or if you just want to see by a date range, how many of these items were sold, the total amount invoiced, and the total cost. So you can kind of get a little idea there as well. Um, the type of products, whether it's a product or it's a maintenance plan. So it's anything that's added to a job form. So if you recommend and sign up a maintenance plan, it's going to be on here as well. How many were sold? This maintenance plan, the Comfort Club, there were 8 sold in this last month. Okay. And you can see the amount that was invoiced, the total cost, the average price, the cost per unit, and this includes the labor cost, another I there, and what your profit margin is on that. So this is a very helpful report as well, and it takes it to the product level, not just the part level. So if you're adding labor and everything into it, it would be a full product from your price book. Okay. The next one is product sales by user. So if you are trying to figure out how much your techs are bringing in, this is a great report. Once again, look at the I. It says the report displays the user allocation percentage for all line items sold on invoices. Negative line items are excluded on this report. So if they gave a discount or anything like that, it's not going to be on here. Okay. And so one of the things that sometimes people don't remember when they first set up their system, when you go into, let me get out of the price book, settings, jobs, job types. When you set it up, you went in and said, I need one for callback, I need one for install, I need one for service, I need one for repair, whatever you need it for. On this side in here, there is an allocation between technicians. Once again, an I, percentage of credit technicians will receive for a job's invoice and payments. The primary tech on the job will receive the primary tech percent allocation, and the additional tech will on the job will receive the additional tech allocation. Okay, so you can click on these and say, okay, the primary tech gets 50%, the additional tech gets 50%. So if you choose give to each, you can say, okay, what are my percentages? But there's one way that it shows you can give each one 100%. So 50-50 split would be 50-50, or give to each 100%. So you can choose which way you want to do this. And so each additional tech after the primary tech will get this amount. So if you have more than 2, 3, or 4 on there, the second, third, and fourth will all get 50%. Okay. People forget that this is here and what it means on the job. So let me go on to, let's see, back over here. Dawson. So on the job costing, we talk a little bit about the job allocation. I think I have one down here. Job costing. We talk a little bit about the tech time and how that plays into what the cost is, but there's also a user allocation on here. And so if you do not change this and you have more than one tech on the appointment and that appointment type is 50-50, I'm going to get 50% and Mark's going to get 50% of whatever sold on that job. We're going to get credit for that. But let's say we have somebody who sold the job and we just went out and did the work. We don't get credit for it. We have the ability to do a custom allocation. So right now, according to this job type, I'm getting 75% as the primary and Mark's getting 25%. Okay. But let's say Jordan or somebody sold this and he is the salesman and he's supposed to get credit for all these jobs. You can come in and hit custom and you can hit add user. I believe Jordan's in this one. Yep, Jordan's in this one. You can change it to Jordan. You can give him 100% and change these to 0. So on those reports, the product sales by user, Jordan will get credit, not Lisa and Mark. It goes by who's on the appointment unless you do a custom allocation. Okay. And so this would be how to track that. So you could see who's selling what and how much of what. So it gives you a list by user of who sold what and how many they sold. Okay. The allocation amount of what they should get. So if they're at 100% on this big old install that somebody created, Mark gets $10,000 for what it was sold, and he gets credit for $10,000. Okay. If you want to see by job this information instead of just a total, to see, okay, I'm not going to give my tech a spiff on this if the job didn't make money. So I need to go back and see, okay, does this make money? I have to go look at those jobs. So you can go to the detail and you can pull up the detail. You can see the dispatch fee. You can see all the information, and you can take the shortcut to that job to see if it made money so that you can know whether to spiff them or not, or go find out what happened on the job to see maybe it wasn't their fault. Okay. But you can go ahead and use this. Don't forget to choose the breakout detail. Okay. And if you're just looking to say, okay, we're going to give all of our techs a spiff on a certain product, you can search that product and you can come in and see if it has a blower motor. How many? We've only got a couple of blower motors. So if you're going to say during the month of June, I want to see how many blower motors you replace and how many ever you do, you're going to get $10, $15 spiff, right? You can come in and search by the product during that date range and see who sold those and give them their spiff. So there's many different ways that you can use this report, and you can also download it to Excel or PDF. Okay. The last, no, next to the last one is recommendations. And this is a great report because when you go into recommendations, anytime a tech goes out on a job and does a repair and recommends that they do something else, if the customer accepts it and does the work, it's on the invoice right then and you can get paid for it. But if they decline and they say they don't want to do it right now, you need a way to follow up on those. And this is how you can do this. You can go in and see what was recommended and see the whether it was on a proposal, whether it was on an invoice. Okay, the invoice is closed, they recommended it, and let's say you have a slow time. This is a great way to increase revenue by going out to somebody and offering this again because they chose not to the last time. It might not have been a good time. And if you're slow, you may say, okay, we were here the other day or a couple months ago, and we offered you this, and we have a little bit of time on our tech schedule right now. We'd like to go ahead and do that repair for you or replacement for you for that part or that system. And we can give you a little bit better price now because this is our slow system and we slow time, and we want to increase our sales and get you the item or the repair that you need. So you can use this to go through the recommendations and see if you can use it as an opportunity to sell more. Okay. I always say that people in the office can't really make money, but they can save you money by dispatching effectively, by making sure everybody is where they're supposed to be, that they have all the parts that they need to do their jobs. And this is one of the ways that you can almost actually do some selling on your own. Or if you have an office person that is set up to sell, then they can use this as well to help generate revenue for your company. Because if your guys don't have anything to do, you either have to send them home or find some busy work for them, which doesn't bring any income, right? But this will bring in income. So making sure that you review this report, come through and sort by all decision statuses to see anybody that said no or declined. You can go through and run through these and call these people and see if maybe they want to do it now, and maybe you can generate some income from the office. Okay. The last report is the total sales report. And that is basically what this is. It gives you a total for today, month to date, and year to date. This does not change even though you update these fields. This is always going to be today, month to date, year to date. These totals down here will change by what the date range you choose, and you can sort by job type. So if you wanted to see by installs, how much money you made for the month, your average sales, total taxes, total sales and taxes. You can get all this information from here and see how you're doing as a company and see if you're on track for where you need to be as a company. So anything that you need to find, you can go by all, you can choose by the job type, and you can download it and manipulate the information any way you'd like. Okay. So these are the basic sales reports that we have in our system. Did you have any other questions on these or how to, you might use these in your company?
Um, can you show me, I work more in the back, right? In the
Hmm.
back side of things and helping out the sales, the phone room and those different people in the office.
Hmm.
But can you show me when you talk about recommendations, if I were to build an invoice, what would that look like?
Sure. Okay, so if I go into a job and I have an invoice, this one is paid. So I'm going to create from a new one. So let's go out and say I'm going to go in and I'm going to choose a capacitor. Okay, they said that their system's not working. It was a capacitor. So I'm going to do it from Profit Rhino. You can do it from any place else, but I'm going to choose one from Profit Rhino. And while you're out there and you're changing this capacitor, if I change out this capacitor, it's going to work, right? If they're going to be able to be cool, they're going to be able to do what they need to do. But I'm looking at the motor and it's out of warranty. Their system's out of warranty. So I'm going to suggest that that motor looks a little, and I'm going to use a technical term because I'm an office person. I'm not a tech. It looks a little hinky, right? It looking like it's been rode hard. And so you want to go ahead and say, let's see if they want to change out the blower motor while I'm here before it fails, because I can change out this capacitor and it'll work. But I can't say that tomorrow, next week, with the way this motor is looking, that it's going to still be working for them shortly. And then they'll be down and they won't have AC anymore. So you can come in and you can get add recommended item. I can go to my flat rate folders. You can use your price book, whichever you like. And I'm going to go into a blower motor and I'm going to go to a blower motor and I'm going to do a half horsepower and I'm going to hit add item. So when you send this to the customer or you give it to the customer or show it to them while you're there, depending on how you guys do it, they can see that it's going to cost me $285. $200.85 to change out the capacitor. Okay. But this blower motor is 755.40. Okay. So they can make a decision while they're there and they can thumbs up. If you thumb up, it moves it up as part of the bill and they agree to the recommendation. Okay, so now their bill is 956. So that $200 repair now became a $956 repair because you offered it up to them and you recommended, and they're looking at you guys to be the experts. So when you recommend this, they're thinking, okay, I can roll the dice and have cool now, but next week I may be paying this anyway. So they may go ahead and do it. If they choose not to, okay, they can put it on future work or they can decline it. And if they hit decline, it's going to show up on there that they declined. If it's future work, then you need to schedule that repair right then in the future and then bill them when you go out. But if they decline, it's going to show up on that recommendations report as declined. So you can go back in your slow season and they put the notes on here. They always put what do they usually say? They say all systems working as expected while I was there. Kind of that little disclaimer. It was working while I was there. It was working when I left. Whatever happens after I left is not my fault. So you can put in the notes for the customer that same thing, it was working, and then recommend that they change out the blower motor because it is functioning now, but looks like it may need to be replaced soon. So when you go into those recommendations report, you can see those notes on the job and realize, okay, this is something that they are going to need. It's better us that does it, but I need to follow up on these to make sure that I get this customer and get it taken care of. Otherwise, they may shop around and go to someone else. So that recommendations report is very, very important for you guys to follow up on. And if you're not, then you're leaving money on the table. So like I said, if you're working in the background, and you can review these and say, hey, these are people we can follow up with as true leads because they really do need this, then you can help make more money. Did you have any other questions?
Well, that answered my question there about the recommendation.
Hmm.
My other question I have, we were looking at reporting, I guess it's on technician job performance, but I guess I can ask, maybe you have a different way. We're trying to figure out, like on a daily basis, how much, the sales that each technician does, that they input an invoice in the previous day.
Hmm.
As we pull some of this reporting, specifically for that technician job performance,
Hmm.
they have appointments and appointments completed.
Hmm.
And I mean, I understand all these tabs just fine. However, it's not matching up with what our actual sales guys are doing.
Okay. So
So,
let's see if this one has anything. Click header for detail. Okay. So on here, I know the eye kind of flies under the radar, but did you take a look at the description to see if it met some of those requirements? Because it says all appointments. So you're saying that the invoice total is wrong, right?
well, all of them, I mean, some of them are wrong. So the all appointments, of course, it matches up with what's in the route, right?
Hmm.
And then appointments completed is what they've gone in and completed on their end. Okay. But what they're keeping track of, because I just started this week looking at it daily so I can spot check and make sure we're invoicing for everything.
Hmm.
Um, but for example, we have one sales tech that sold $33,000, and
Okay.
it was three jobs. It showed that he had four appointments and only ran two, and it only showed $13,000 sales in the system. However, he has paid invoices for the $33,000.
Okay. So
And what he
is
was saying was that maybe the date, because he built the quote on Friday and the customer paid on Monday,
Mhm.
but I don't understand why um the payments total, because wouldn't that equal the amount of payments he accepted on that specific day?
So it should be, are you doing it by date? Are you doing it by week?
Right now for this week, I've tracked sales every single day.
Okay, so you may have to go back. So if the invoice was created on one date and the payment was taken on another, that might be part of the issue. And the other
Well,
issue is
should
making sure that the invoice is not in open draft.
well, they're not.
Okay.
This one particular I'm explaining here.
Hmm.
He he had his jobs that he sold. Like I said, I think it was three jobs that he sold.
Hmm.
But it showed he had four appointments and only ran two. And then like I said, looking at payments total,
Hmm.
I understand that maybe the invoice was created the week before, so that's why it's not in the invoice total
Hmm.
aspect, or the number of jobs with invoices. Maybe that's why it didn't match up.
Hmm.
However, the payment that he received on Monday, shouldn't that add up? Shouldn't that be listed in the payments total?
I'm wondering if the invoice is not showing, if the payment is linked to the invoice date, and that's why it's not showing.
Okay.
So can you do you have your system open where you could check to see by that person and open that date range up for the date that has the invoice and then put it to today so that you can make sure that it captures the invoice and the payment so we can see what shows?
Yeah, I'm looking here.
Okay.
Let's see here.
See if there's anything else that it's saying in here that might cause. Oh, okay. Payments total. Sum of payments tied to an invoice, excluding invoices that have a status of voided. The job allocation percentage set in the admin section dictates the amount allocated to each technician. So was he the only one on that job?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Correct. He's the
Okay,
he's
cool.
the only one.
So he
And
should be getting 100%.
yeah, and it's not, I mean, right now, it only shows that he has $14,000. He has $18,000 in invoice totals this week and $14,000 in payments total this week, but that's not accurate.
Okay, what should it be?
I didn't double check yesterday yet because I've been so busy. I think it's,
Hmm.
let me see here. What should it be?
Hmm. So if you're saying he has $18,000 in invoices and $14,000 in payments, was
Huh?
that correct? Or did I have it backwards?
Nope, you're right. Hold on.
Okay.
So sorry, I wasn't prepared to ask this
Oh,
question.
no problem. No problem. We're the only game in town, so I can take
I
some time and answer that.
know. I was like, oh, look at this. I'm by myself.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Please hold. Almost there.
No problem.
Right now, it should be around $40,000 is what he collected this week so far himself.
Okay,
Is
so
what
he
he sold.
collected $40,000,
Yeah, it's what
but
he sold.
but so the $18,000 in invoices is not correct either.
Correct.
Okay. So
Yeah,
now
the numbers don't match up.
my question is, so these are larger numbers. So are there installs?
Yes.
Okay, there's installs. So if you go to one of the install jobs, there are probably installers on the appointment, correct?
Sure.
Okay, so remember job allocation goes by who is on the appointment as the primary tech and any secondary techs. So for
But
him to get,
they're not on the money invoice. When the installers go to do that, we make an invoice for themselves and
Mhm,
it's $0.
right, but they're on the appointment, and that's how the job chooses the allocation.
But we
So,
don't have allocation set up. I'll tell you that right now.
okay, so up on your jobs up here, settings, and then, wait a minute, settings, and then jobs.
Mhm.
Hello, my little thing is in the way. Let me go to a different one. There we go, settings, and then job preferences, job types. So on your job types,
Mhm.
these are all set to 0.
It says primary tech 100%.
Primary tech, 100%. So, okay, on the job, so let's go back to my beeper, Jack Dawson job. So on the job, who's on the appointments? The installers?
No, the sales tech, the salesperson.
The salesperson is on the appointment
Correct.
that has the invoice on it.
Correct.
Okay, and there's no installers. You create another appointment on this job, or do you create a new job that has the installers on it?
They create a new job that has the installers on it.
Okay, so that it should be showing up. It should be if you can click on here and make sure that that salesman is set to get 100%.
Click on one right now and I'll see. Where'd
Okay.
you go?
You have to go into the actual job.
Okay.
This is where we were saying we couldn't click.
Yeah. And you can't click in from the schedule, right? Click into a job.
Yes, you can. So when you go to the schedule,
Um,
if you go to the schedule and you hover over it, let's see, I'll find an appointment. So if you hover over it, you have the
Uh-huh.
choice. There's a shortcut to the job. See it when it
I
pops up?
see it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and it says user allocation and error on 100%.
Aaron 100%. Okay. And Aaron 100%. So user allocation. What is the date that the job was created? So if I go up, and if I go to the appointment and see, doesn't have it have an appointment note, maybe? Did you have an appointment note on there where it says initial call or anything else like this on here that says created and then a date?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, go ahead and ask the question again.
Okay, so on that job, where you on that job, you just below the user allocation, you're going to see on the left-hand side calls and notes. Click on that tab and see if you have an initial call note.
Yes,
Do you, when you open up the initial call note, what date does it say it's created here?
5/18, which was
By
Monday. Uh-huh.
which was Monday, and that was within that date range that you chose for the report.
He got the call note on Monday. He went
Mhm.
out on Monday and sold it on Monday.
And sold it on
This
Monday.
partic- And this particular one um this one was how much is that? 12, almost 13,000, yeah.
And it was 13,000. And let's see.
Let's look at how this is.
Also,
Okay.
with check and American Express.
Yeah, 2 for days. But still, it should all show up there though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. If not, I'm going to have you reach out to customer support and see if they can go through and actually look at the one because I don't, this is being recorded, so I don't want to put your stuff up in
Oh, I'm
this
sorry. Yes.
this one. So it's like, okay, so now that we're talking about, they still can't see anything in your system. They just know that there's something that's different on the report. And so customer care can go in and you can give them the jobs and the person and the date range so that they can go in and see what they can see. But I don't want to put that up here in this
Understood.
webinar that's going to be recorded for everybody. So,
I
um,
appreciate it.
so I would reach out to customer support, give them all the information that you gave me. Even make their life a little bit easier. Just go, this is the job. The user allocation is him 100%. He's the only one on the appointments. Um, there's the proposal, there's the invoice, it's paid, the date it's paid, and then have them go through and take a peek to see where that might be off.
Okay.
Okay. And then that way, if they can do that, so if there's something the report that's pulling because the date that's not, the invoice is created and it's not paid at the same time, they can let you know that to say, okay, so the way that you're doing work, right? You may have to widen your search or you may have to do something else to get this to pull in so that you get the correct information you're looking for. Okay. Because I'm sitting there going, who knows? It may be a bug. You may have discovered a bug. So if it is a bug, then they can get that set up to get fixed for you. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're in here working. I always like to say that this software is a living, breathing thing because we're always doing updates on it. We're always doing work on it. And sometimes when they go in and create a new feature or something like that, they try to go back their best and test everything. But there are so many things to test, they may miss something. So that when you see something like that, it's great that you let us know. And then that way we can check in to see, okay, is it working as it's intended? Is there a problem with it? Or is it just that we're not getting the right search results to get what you need? So if you can reach out to them and let them know that you're on here with me and that you're coming up with a different amount and see if they can help you dial that in, that would be great. Okay. Did you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here today because I didn't think I was going to be able to talk to anybody today because I think it got hot really fast and everybody's getting ready for that 3-day weekend and they're not interested in training right now. So I'm glad that you came today. So if there's not anything else I can do for you, I'm going to let you get back to work and I will make a note to look up your email address because I don't want to say it on the recorded one and see what they say on that ticket for you. Okay?
Sounds good. You have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.